So in this video, I'm going to attempt to give you guys 21 F1 2021 tips in 5 minutes to improve your skills or your just overall enjoyment in the game. Okay, so these tips aren't exactly in order from basic to advanced. I will try to make it that way, but there might be an advanced tip towards the beginning and a basic tip towards the end of the video. However, tip number 18, most of you guys will have never heard of. So make sure to stick around until tip 18 at least. If you're on PC and you want to have better visibility in wet conditions, turn off particles in the graphic settings. I've heard that some people don't like using it, but try understeer enhance. I really like it because it allows you to know exactly when you're losing grip in the tires, meaning that you don't understeer the car. If you guys are new and you're wondering how the hell do I not lock up without ABS, here's a quick tip for you guys. The more that you turn the wheel, the less braking force you apply. If you're struggling to know what AI you should race against depending on the track, set the AI to 50% and do a one-shot quali. For every second that you're quicker than your teammate, increase the percentage by 10%. You ideally want your teammate to be within 2.5 tenths on either side of your own quali time. If you want to improve your racecraft, try joining 25% races that Twitch streamers usually host during the week and weekends. Shameless plug here, make sure you go to twitch.tv/bushiAntz because I do them myself. It allows you to race with higher fuel loads, higher wear, and it gives you a better understanding of pit stops. If you're new to the game and you're wondering which assist you should turn off first, I highly recommend turning the racing line off first. It's usually the most difficult assist for people to turn off when they're new to the game. And another shameless plug here, if you guys want to learn how to drive without the racing line but you don't really know where the braking points are, then you need to watch some hot laps and track guides on YouTube. I have both of those on my channel, so make sure to check out the channel and see which track you're struggling with. If you're consistently forgetting to turn overtake off when going into the corners, then you have two options. Either use auto ERS or my personal recommendation, use the hold option for your overtake. You can find this by going to your wheel settings and then going to the generic settings. Using hold allows you to have more control of when your overtake is used and isn't used. In order to be quick on F1 2021, you need to have smooth inputs. This can be a little bit more difficult for controller players though. Instead of moving your stick to the left or right whenever you want to turn, try moving your stick up and then smoothly moving it to the left or right. It gives you a little bit more control over the car when turning, especially if you're not using any assist. If you guys are more of an offline PC player, I highly recommend going to racedepartments.com. It's where you can find mods to spice up your My Team and GP mode racing. This next tip is a very useful tip and I honestly don't really see a lot of people using it enough. Use full track map. In qualifying, it allows you to see where all the cars are on track so that you can get out of the way of other cars if they look as if they're on a hot lap, and during the race, you can keep an eye on certain rivals, especially like when they've come out after a pit stop and you want to see exactly where on track they came out. Another qualifying tip is to use permanent session timer. This allows you to see how long you have in qualifying for the entire session. If you have this setting turned off, you can only see the last 5 minutes, which, especially in full qualifying, kind of sucks. There's actually a bug in the game if you get slight wing damage, where the graphic actually stays green, indicating that you don't have damage when you actually do. The best way for you to know if you have damage is to simply ask Jeff. Choose your radio button and then go to vehicle conditions. This isn't going to work 100% of the time because even Jeff sometimes don't tell you when you have damage if you actually do. A great way to see if you're losing time around the track is to use time trial. Time trial isn't really good for higher fuel loads or tire wear, but if you were to choose the telemetry line of someone who's about half a second faster than you, then you can see exactly what they're doing on track and where you're losing time around whichever circuit you want to be quick at. If you find yourself still braking on straights, or if you find yourself still applying a little bit of throttle during the middle of the corners, I highly recommend using a brake or throttle dead zone respectively, and this issue should be fixed immediately. I actually get asked this question quite a lot by people, so I thought I'd throw this tip in here. If you're looking to start league racing, the best place that you can find leagues are actually in Discord servers. Esports drivers and content creators have servers, and a lot of those servers actually have channels where people promote their leagues, so it's very easy to find something that fits you. And yes, that is a shameless plug to join my Discord server, which also has a channel that you can find leagues in. If you guys are wondering how to get better at Monaco on the controller, don't. Monaco just sucks on the controller. It doesn't matter how skilled you are, Monaco isn't really a pad track, and there are pad tracks like Bahrain, for example. However, there are tracks like Monaco, for example, which is almost impossible to drive with a keyboard and mouse or a controller. Okay guys, so this is the tip that I alluded to in the beginning of the video. Did you guys actually know that you could replicate time trial in GP mode? Yeah, you actually can. All you need to do is skip towards the end of qualifying, especially short qualifying, where the track is at its quickest, and then just before you start a lap, use the mid-session save feature, and what this will do is whenever you restart the session, you can go to that specific point and boom, you basically have time trial in GP mode. It doesn't matter where your main platform is, whether you're usually on Facebook groups, YouTube, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, anywhere. There's always people looking for setups, right? Well, I have a baseline spreadsheet of setups that you guys can use. The link will be in the description below. It's a free resource for everyone. Not every setup is going to be perfect for everyone, so I highly recommend, if you're going to use this in a league race, to at least try the setup first before you go straight into it. Okay, so this next tip is for league races. This isn't a super advanced tip, but there are probably some of you guys who don't know this yet. So if you're racing at a track like Bahrain or China, for example, where there's higher tire degradation, then ideally you want to try and undercut your rivals around you. However, if you're on the flip side, so for example Silverstone, where the tire degradation isn't high, then you want to try and stay on the tire that you're on and go long so that you can be quicker towards the end of the race. So basically you overcut your rivals. Now this tip isn't going to work in 100% of scenarios, but it should be the most ideal scenario for you to use when racing at these tracks. For tire temps, no matter which compounds you're on, try and have your setup balanced so that your tires don't exceed 104 degrees Celsius. Obviously the hard tires can handle it, but usually around about that temperature is where you start to see a loss of performance. So if you do see your tires overheating, just decrease the pressure in the tire that's overheating until you get it to around 104 degrees. So guys, that was 21 F1 2021 tips in 5 minutes. I don't actually know if I stuck to the time limit that I gave myself. However, a lot of these tips should be useful to you guys, so if they were, make sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure to share this video around on social media, and also subscribe to the channel if you're not already for videos like this, tutorials and stuff like that. And I'll catch you guys in my next video.